Alright guys, what is up? I feel like I've been gone for ages, but nevertheless we are back, and we have a lot of catching up to do, a lot of work to do. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Yeah, let's begin. We will start with gold. As always, we'll mute notifications. Perfect. Now, I do expect a lot of this to have changed since the last time I've done a market check. So it will be very interesting to see where we are. We've swept this liquidity. This Asia session has been taken as well. It doesn't look like it was an Asia session. Anyway, all right, weekly. Yes, we are obviously still bullish there. Daily. Daily remains bearish, that's fine. 4 hourly. For hourly is now bullish. So we can change that. The 2 hour as well is now hourly is technically speaking bearish now. So that remains, and then the 1 hour might be, we were bullish, then we have broken to bearish, and then we have broken back to bullish, so we are now bullish on the hourly. Respect, technically we ran through the supply that was here. But we now do have a little I'm going to make this a regular box. We have respected this level nicely. Yeah, so we had a 6 hour breaker here, and then price respected it quite nicely. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not too interested in the price action. Sentiment is technically speaking bullish for now. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to do right now in terms of like pulling any new ranges or any sort of ranges whatsoever. Yeah, there's just nothing really here. Yeah, that is that, honestly. Maybe if we come up, but even so, like, we're kind of leaving demand behind right there, which I'm not too fond of. There's not a whole lot, to be honest, that I would do right now with gold. So just be aware that, and even this is most likely mitigated on the lower time frame. And yeah, that is mitigated on the lower time frame. Like, you have a 10-minute order block here, which you can monitor to see what price might do, but not a whole lot realistically. Yeah, that's it for gold. Let's move to silver. There's not a whole lot to extrapolate from this price action at the moment. There is a lot going on here. Let's clean some of this up. Okay, that's gone. Boom. Daily is allegedly bearish, which could be still correct. Okay. It is because that's our market structure high. Fair enough. 4 hour. 4 hour does remain bearish. In terms of a 4 hourly range, like I don't mind that, but yeah, you just kind of have to realize that. Sorry, from here. Yeah, you kind of just have to realize that we are in a bearish context. The hourly might be bullish from what I am feeling and seeing. Boom. And it's not really valid market structure, is it? We got 2 consecutive bearish candles. That's an inside bar. Okay, they're 2 consecutive bullish. So it's just not the cleanest price action. We are technically bullish on the hourly. And you've got liquidity here, extreme liquidity. It's not the cleanest range, it really isn't. It's semi-counter context as well, because you're all accumulating, but it's just the bullish it's just weekly that is bullish. Everything else is bearish. From a time perspective, we got tap 1 and 2 8 days apart, 8 days 16 hours to be precise, and then from a tap 2 to current, or tap 2 to 8 days 16 hours, we have, okay, we got a bit of time, but a bit, yeah, we can allow up to like here for this pair to continue moving. So yeah, we will see if we can come back in here. Other than that, there isn't much more, like there's no real return to zone at the moment. There's nothing really holding price either. There is some supply here, but other than that, it's not gonna happen today, full stop. So maybe tomorrow we start seeing price come back down. We could get a confirmation like maybe on Friday, near market close. So we will see, but like at the moment, I'm not really a fan of this range, to be completely honest, for those reasons, for those exact reasons. Plus, you got liquidity and demand below, so like I'd also be interested in distribution. Price comes up and creates some sort of local distribution off this supply. Boom, we short this and we can run it all the way into this demand below. So that's kind of what I would like, but then again, you just got to be ready for it all. So yeah, that's all I got for silver. Let's move on to oil. What is the story we're telling ourselves here? Okay, we have swept this liquidity. Nice. Hourly bullish, hourly could be bearish here. Okay, yeah, we're still bullish here because our daily low is, and I will mark this so it's easy to, sorry, that was our 2-day. I think our daily might be fairly similar, if I'm not mistaken. Not interested anymore. Yeah, daily lows right here. Market structure low, 1 day. Perfect. Okay, so 4 hourly here is bearish according to this. Okay, yeah. However, now we have swept this, so this is no longer our market structure high on the 4 hour. So that can go. And we are now bullish on the 4 hour with our 4 hour break right here. And that would most likely mean bullish on the 1 hour as well currently. Once we have broken structure down back to bearish somewhere in there, which can happen, which we have not. Okay, so we remain bullish on the hourly. Lovely. All demand here seems to have been mitigated, or at least most of it. I'm just curious to see if this is structural demand, because I have a feeling it might be. Let's just go straight to the 1 minute. That is all that really matters here. It's just the 1 minute. And it is. It is very much a valid structural demand. Perfect. Well, I've just cleaned my water up. No more water, drank it all. Okay, so we've got our structured demand below. We're bullish, so if anything, we'll bounce off somewhere here, but then there is supply above. Honestly, similar story, no real range I'm interested in at the moment. Like, I can pull this, just for the time being, but it's not something I'm too interested in, full stop, just because it is in the middle of nowhere. Like you got so, like, this is looking, I've pulled this as if it's going to be an accumulation, right? So I've pulled it as if it's going to be an accumulation, yet it's looking to be, you've got supply right above, so if anything this would be a distribution, but then for it to be an accumulation you want a nice POI, which you're not getting that because demand's right below. So for price to mitigate this demand in this range, that is a terrible drawing. You know what if I use this? For price to come down, mitigate this demand, that's like already way out of the DL tool. So that would no longer be a really valid range. But like, look, we've got our alerts on. We'll see what happens. But I would need a crystal clear return zone coming into this third tap POI, whenever that may be, that's going to make me want to long this. So I am not too interested there. Let's move on. And I'm seeing some okay looking price action at the moment, just off the bat here. Like I will use, let's see how we come down. Hourly is most likely bullish. Yeah, it is, because this is our market structure on the hourly. That's our high. So this is just internal structure, which we're not interested in. But there's no market structure in here. So to be complete, so this is our hourly market structure low, which is not something I like, because price can so easily do this. Yeah, I'm not liking this range off the bat. Given this is our market structure low on the hourly, price can so easily do this. Retrace all the way back in here, creating some form of internal structure, and then just coming back up. And it's still in an overall uptrend on the hourly. So yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of this. And yeah, we are still bullish on the hourly, and we're going to be bullish on the hourly for a bit unless we break these lows. 4 hourly, yeah, still bullish. Daily bearish, like most likely. If I put that down, yeah, still bearish on the daily. That's fine. Okay, so in terms of USD JPY, not much has changed. And we're still in this higher time frame range, so yeah. I don't mind what's happening at the moment regarding this pair. And we will see what happens here, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this range, full stop. What I will be looking at, yeah, we're in supply here. I'm just curious to see if there's anything more refined. And it looks like there might be. Well, there's no market structure here to validate this as supply. And then yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is key supply. Not really. You have some supply there, which hasn't really grabbed much. Yeah, like up here. Like, yeah, overall supply, like, a good chunk of supply has, technically speaking, been mitigated. So you can expect reversals. You are also bearish on the daily. However, you are still bullish on the weekly as of now. Yeah, because we have SFP these lows. And then looking at this locally, yeah, we'll see what happens here. As of now, tap one, whack off low, and that's it. So we will see what happens here. Return to zone so far looks okay. Not the best, not the worst. And then in terms of our session lows, we do have Asia lows right here. So yeah, there could be something here. Something could definitely present itself here, but yeah, we will see what happens. So yeah, USD JPY can stay top of the chart for now. Yeah. Sort of aligns with the context as well. Like it aligns with the daily context. But yeah, we'll see what happens in that regard. Euro GBP. Mitigated supply to perfection. Really, really nice. Didn't confirm anything. These can all go. Perfect. Hourly is bearish at the moment. There is also hourly supply here, which may have, okay, has not yet been mitigated. Um, 4 hour, is that bearish? Yes, it is. Daily remains bearish, yeah. And this is still our higher time frame range where we are looking for a potential accumulation. However, context is heavily bearish at the moment. We are in a very evident downtrend here. So yeah, just continue to look for shorts really. Like the whole context is bearish here. We are ranging, but it is an overall bearish landscape, so be aware of that. Not a whole lot though to look at the moment. Yeah, not a whole lot to do at the moment for Euro GBP. Euro USD, will have a look. We're bearish on the hourly, that remains. Broke to bullish up here. Broke back to... Oh, technically we're still bullish on the 4 hour. We've just wicked the low. So we are still bullish on the 4 hour. On the daily. Very much so bearish. And weekly, probably that would have been a weekly market structure. Yes, it was. There is liquidity right there. Yeah, like we'll see what happens here. It kind of favors the main overall bias for this pair. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it has been confirmed yet. Okay, it just has. The range has just been confirmed. So yeah, we will see what happens here. Boom. Like that. Euro NZD. Well, the fact that we've just ran through demand and we're looking to distribute, context seems bearish so far. This could be an okay distribution to take. Bullish. Okay, we are now officially bearish on this pair. So yeah, that distribution could actually be quite pro context, even with not the best return to zone. Weekly. Weekly is bullish, but I'm very interested in this very local model that has formed here. If we have Asia lows below, then this could... Oh, okay. Annoyingly, we don't have Asia lows below, but the context favors us. This might honestly be a live entry here, guys. We have left behind supply. I'm going to start slowly scaling into this position. Where are we now? Okay, we're still sort of like a... Yeah, I'm happy to try this. We have kind of formed some sort of... I'll explain my reasoning after I enter here. Eurnzd. Eurnzd. Yeah, so it's one of those things where the context heavily favors this, as much as price action might not necessarily. Like, and the sessions, I was more so referring to sessions there, but the context is in favor. All I'm doing now is I'm just looking at my stop loss in price. Open price 1.96395. 395. 1.96. Okay, risk is... Okay, so I've just entered with 0.25% risk at the moment, as my lot size for this should be 2 lots, but I have just entered one with 1 lot at 1.96424, which was 1.964424. Okay, so I've entered up here at a 4.62, which is pretty decent, but I've only entered with 0.25% risk. We'll definitely re-enter if we can manage to come back up, mitigate this supply and break structure. Otherwise, I'm happy with the 0.25 risk. And then we do have an OBIF as well, but that's not of interest at the moment. Yeah, so what I do and what I don't like about this is, what I do like about this is obviously the context is heavily in favor. What I don't like about this is we've simply got close to no real return to zone. Like, it's just not the best return to zone. Yeah, it's just not the best return to zone, and we've already taken Asia low. If this was Asia low right here, this would have been a like 1 to maybe 2% entry. Like, I would have heavily entered here, but given it isn't. Yeah, the only thing that's like highly favorable here is the context, which so far is, yeah, quite pro context to go shorter. So yeah, we will see what price does here. I'm just going to quickly journal that I have entered this. The good thing is about this is that, as much as, like, the good thing is that kind of good and bad, London, yeah, has taken out both, but And we do have the New York lows here. So we've taken out the New York highs as well. So yeah, you could say the New York low is a potential liquidity target. And every other recent session high has pretty much been taken. So you could say that it is, you know, it is time for some session lows to get taken out as well. A few already have. But yeah, I definitely will scale in a little bit more if we can. Where am I? Asia high. I definitely will scale in a little bit more if we slowly come back up, respect this, and then break structure back down. If we respect this supply and break structure back down again, then I will definitely probably go like 1% risk. But yeah, for now, like I've got my alert set. Let me just journal that I have entered. Eurnzd. And like, regardless, it's nice. Like the risk to reward here, 4.51 is really, really lovely. Second of the 6th, 2026, and we have entered this at 7:53 p.m. And that was in the thick of the London session. Clean Model 1, not clean Model 1, but supply demand creation is the only confirmation I have outside of the context. And then in terms of the volume profile, volume profile is not the best either, to be completely honest. And then another thing I don't really like is that there's not really much in here. Have we actually come back and mitigated this? Okay, we've mitigated that supply. We front ran that, but there must be like overlapping. Yeah, so this has been mitigated on the lower time frame, which is why, yeah, price doesn't have to come all the way back up. There is this little, there's just this little unmitigated zone there. So we'll see. We'll see if price does come back up, but if it reacts off this, then I'll know that's what it's done, but we'll see for now. Context is very much so pro here. And then our range size until the break of structure was about 19 hours, 30 minutes. Like, look, at the end of the day, sometimes the context is all you need. Like, sometimes it is just the context. If the context is so heavily in your favor, then that's kind of all you need. But the more confluences, the better. And yeah, the thing that I do like is that we have really ran through this demand. So for me, running through this demand means quite a bit. And in terms of creating demand in the meantime, or leaving demand below, of course, I will monitor this to see what it looks like on the lower time frame, and it has been quite clearly mitigated on the lower time frame. Maybe there is some overlapping structure, maybe. Not really. Everything here has been mitigated, as you can see. Even this here has been mitigated, so yeah, we don't have to use this. This is not of our interest. Yeah, well look, alerts have been set, so alerts have been set. I'm going to set my TP. $1.95748. Yeah, so it is very, very minimal risk. Very minimal risk. But it is what it is, where having some skin in the game is better than no skin in the game. So yeah, easy. Right, without further ado, we'll move on because we've been on this for a while. GBP JPY. Well, this is now pretty much invalidated for me, at least. Not too interested. And we're running through supply in here. tearing through supply. And yeah, we kind of have this higher time frame range at play, which has been at play for a bit, and now you could kind of look for a local confirmation. And by local confirmation, I essentially mean a local model forming. Or you can even use like a nice hourly break of structure. So looking at this, you got a 3-hour market structure low here, which is valid, but it's also quite big, as you can say. Market structure low on the 3-hour. See if this gets hit at some point. But ideally I just want a local distribution to form around here. So we will see if that happens. What I also do is move this Euro NZD trade to the top, just because it's easy for me to see. Okay, in terms of GBP JPY at the moment, not much I want to do. We still got our alert set. We've got our levels set. You're like 30-minute break structure here. So we will see what happens. My bad, this was actually hourly. Could even be a bit more. No, it is just the hourly market structure low. All right. GBP USD. Yeah, in terms of GBP JPY, not a whole lot more to be done here. Just be patient and see what happens. GBP USD. Can already see some form of range here, but let's see if the bias is in our favor. Quite a few alerts here, which I don't need. I'm just going to get rid of them. The one thing I don't like about this off the bat is you can see here it's essentially a range at the EQ of our higher time frame range, so it's never really like a lot can happen at the EQ of a higher time frame range. A lot of price movement can occur. In terms of the context, let's have a look. Yeah, weekly will most likely still be bearish. Yes. Daily, is that still bearish? Daily is still bearish. 4 hourly is still bearish. Okay. And 1 hourly, I'd like to think the 1 hourly is bullish by now. Bullish, yes. A lot of structure there. We've wicked that low. So we've SFP'd our hourly market structure low, just. So yeah, we're still bullish on the hourly.
Algae style.
Shut the fuck up. Man, I'll tell you, I gotta turn Siri off. It is, honestly, it's ridiculous. It's like the oldest AI that got created and still the shittest AI that got created. That's my opinion on Siri. I think it absolutely sucks. Bullish on the 4 hour. Sweet. All right. So yeah, a distribution, technically speaking, is within our favor. I'm just gonna put on jump. It's getting a bit nippy. Yeah, a distribution is very much within our favor here. So we have charted this up and we will see what happens. NZD-CAD, moving on. Completely invalidated. Alright, a lot of stuff that can essentially get deleted here. There's just too much, which we don't really need. Perfect, that looks nice and clean now. How good does this look? Beautiful. Beautiful. Demand ran through. Weekly, are you still bearish? Bullish. Bearish. Bullish. Bearish. Bearish. Yeah, weekly is still very much so bearish. Daily. Daily could still be bearish as well because I don't think we've broken structure up here. So this is still our daily high, guys. I could have made an error unless daily says bearish, daily says bullish. We're bearish on the daily still. We've never broken this daily high. Yeah. So this was our daily. Bam bam. Bullish. Bearish. You get the gist. Bullish. And there's no structure here, so now this is bearish. And look at this. Tell me when we've broken structure. Back to bullish. Not yet. Still bearish on the daily, and we're also leaving behind a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful return to zone right underneath us, which is, man, this is honestly A++. Like, this is A++. Context is in favor. I'm just going to remove whatever on earth I've drawn in here. Like, I feel like this can still get taken. That's my... And then from time, man, like... Tap 1 to 2 is 907... This is a long accumulation. 933 days, let's say. Tap 2 to whatever this tap 3 was supposed to be. I feel like it's longer. Okay, we will allow that, but it's already kind of been too extended. But yeah, we will see. In terms of the 4 hour... Four hour is still very much bullish, and then 1 hour is bullish. Yeah, this remains the same. Given this, not a whole lot I'm interested in at the moment. There's no real like clean demand here. However, there could be a scalp here. There can definitely be a scalp option here. So just pay attention to that. Asia low, Asia low. Oh, this is beautiful. Asia low is down here. Asia high has been taken. Asia high has been beautifully taken. In the same session, pretty much. All right. POIs, what POIs? I think that was a POI in itself. Quite possibly. We can, of course, and we will validate this. It's definitely been mitigated on the lower time frame, and given it has been mitigated on the lower time frame, this has also been mitigated. This is pretty much going to be my extreme liquidity, which isn't pretty, but it is extreme liquidity. So we will see how price enters this. And there's no real demand. Like, you have this, which has been mitigated. This, whatever was in here, has been mitigated. Whatever was in here, this isn't really demand. Like, overall, this is looking decent to come lower. And let's see what else we've grabbed to the left. Yeah, we've grabbed this, like... Or have we? Maybe we haven't. Maybe I could be wrong. We have created liquidity. We have, yes. This has not been grabbed, which I don't necessarily like. We've created an equal a liquidity high right here, to be honest. But still early on, so... yeah, let's just see what happens for now, how we develop. I'd still look to take this if we can come up nicely and create that nice return to zone. close enough for me. Yeah, let's see what happens. And then demand in here has also been mitigated, so this means that nothing is holding price from coming down. That's essentially all this means right here, which I like. Alright, alerts have been set. We will monitor this range as well. Low time frame is, however, against context, and this is the low time frame range, so that's just something that we need to be aware of. So we will see what happens. Alright, alerts are set. USD CAD, another potential distribution happening here, but already I can tell you that I do not like this. Yeah, I don't like this move up into our second tap. Yeah, so we've kind of entered into whatever supply is in here. And then in terms of low time frame supply, there's maybe this, but maybe this has been mitigated. It has. So that's been mitigated. I think even this has been mitigated as well, so yeah. This looks good. We've pretty much mitigated all this supply. Therefore, I will not be using this as supply. There kind of is liquidity above. Is there? No, that's been grabbed actually. My apologies. Well, given that, let's have a look at the context. Weekly is probably going to still be bullish. Yeah, weekly still very much bullish. We've obviously SFP that daily high. So the daily can remain bearish. 4 hour might almost likely be bullish, I will assume. Okay, we're actually bearish on the 4 hour. No, we're bullish. Reason being is we're in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend. Broken structure, we're in a downtrend. Lower low. High high. Structure is broken back to bullish, so yeah. We are freshly bullish to say the least. And in terms of the US Canadian dollar on the 2 hour, ironically, the 2 hour is still bearish. Actually, I may have overlooked one critical factor, guys. I apologize. Core lacking. Inside bar candle. So we're in a downtrend. Oh, sorry, we're in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend. Boom, structure's broken to bearish, but we have a move up, but here we have an inside bar candle. So all of these are actually inside bar candles. So this is not valid market structure. So it's break structure and then lower high, expectation order flow, lower high for a lower low. So therefore we are bearish on the 4 hour as well, which is even more in context for our potential distribution, which is forming. So yeah. And then yeah, on the 2 hour, of course, that is the same. We are bearish. And we're bearish on the hourly as well. So honestly, we're just in one big bearish move down, which favors our low time frame context. It's a low time frame range. So I would expect us to distribute here. What I will do is put my alerts on. I think there is some demand in here. I like to assume so. Not a good thing to assume, but okay, structure demand, perfect. So when we mitigate this, this could be a deep mitigation is always preferred when it comes to distributions. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Perfect. Let me see where Euro NZD is at. We are slowly, okay, it's still moving. Moving swiftly to say the least. Okay, USD CHF, USD CAD was it? We can move that to the top. USD CHF. This whole range here is now no longer of interest to me. We've extended quite a bit. So that can go, the demand is still valid at the bottom. This is also no longer of interest to me. All right, hourly, are we bullish on the hourly? Okay, well, we've broken structure. We've broken back to bullish. Boom. That remains bullish on the hourly. On the 4 hourly, that is actually we're in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend. Boom, we're in a downtrend. Still in a downtrend. We've made a low. Boom, we are actually bullish. That was our most recent market structure on the 4 hour. We've deviated this, making a new low, or solidifying this low. We've come back up. That is valid market structure because this is not an inside bar candle. It's one bullish candle higher than the previous bullish candle, closing above as well. And then we've broken back up. So yeah, we are now bullish on the 4 hour. And then let's have a look at the daily. Yeah, I'm not really liking price action at the moment. Like, yeah, not a whole lot to do here, to be honest. Like, given we are bullish, you could look at something like this coming down, but we will see. This has kind of been mitigated, so that's a good look to say the least. Already I can see liquidity here. Definitely not there. Yeah. And what I'm also curious to see is there's demand below, because I feel like there might be. Even this is technically extreme liquidity. And you can very much use this as the extreme liquidity, and I will use this as extreme liquidity, as a matter of fact. And then you have valid demand below as well. So there's your extreme demand. And then has this been mitigated? Not quite. Even on the lower time frame, technically speaking, not quite. So reason for price to come lower, definitely, and will be interesting to see how it respects these key levels that I have just outlined. Yeah, that's it for now. So contextually this could be alright, but we will see what happens in regards to these POIs up here. AUD CAD. Hourly is definitely bullish. I can see that from a mile away. 4 hourly probably bullish as well. Boom. Broken to bullish. Yep. Very much so bullish across these pairs. Daily, probably bullish. Yeah. So nothing but this whole pair just being bullish. Like, you can always say that there might be some sort of pullback and look at this from a high time frame distribution perspective, but not the way price is moving. Regardless, I like still chart it, but yeah, it's more so just like be aware. All this can go. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Doesn't mean we can't look at it. Honestly, that's it for this, for AUD CAD. Not a whole lot. Looking bullish across the board. So we will see what happens. AUD USD in the meantime. No longer of interest at all to anything drawn in here. All right. Weekly still bullish probably. It's gonna have to come down quite a bit to break the weekly low here. It's gonna have to come down a while. Daily. Technically, it's just been we've just been SFPing the daily low, so daily's technically bullish. Like this to me is market structure. Boom. Actually, is that true? Like that's definitely bearish, which could be why I said it's bearish. Or an uptrend, high, low. It's just the one candle, which is not the valid 6 candle rule. So yeah, technically speaking, we are bullish on the daily. And this has just been SFP'd. So yeah, there's my technicality on that one. And then 4 hourly. Yeah, so we are bullish on the 4 hour as well. Broken to bearish. Right there, we've broken to bullish. Yeah. And I'm gonna assume the hourly is also bullish, maybe. Okay, well, we've broken it to bearish there. That's our high. Okay. We're still bearish on the hourly here. The only range I'm partially interested is this. Nothing else really. We're also creating demand in the process, which is something to be aware of. GBP NZD, this could be very similar to Euro NZD. Ran through this demand. Let me quickly check on Euro NZD. Okay, definitely bearish on the hourly. Definitely bearish on the 4 hourly. Daily bullish, they say. Bullish. Bearish. Okay, well, unless I'm seeing something different, I think I'm confidently going to say we're in a downtrend here. Bam, bam, bearish. Yeah, we're in a bearish daily downtrend here, so expectational order flow is lower high for a lower low. And we're bearish on the 4 hour as well. The only thing I don't like about this whole, you've got supply above, and you do have some supply here, which may have been mitigated. So you've got this supply, which seems to have been mitigated, and it has. So yeah, same thing, like very similar story to Eurnzd. Context is highly in our favor, but then you've got this. It's just not the cleanest supply. This has been mitigated as well. No return to zone. Probably Asia highs and lows have both been taken, I would assume. Yeah, it's honestly like the same, pretty much the same setup. It is very much so the same setup. However, it does seem to appear that this is valid. Oh no, it's not. Oh, maybe it's valid on like the very low time frame. It's probably valid on the 1 minute. So yeah, so you could have entered this on the 1 minute, which is not something I necessarily like. In terms of a pullback, there's no real POIs that price can pull back in here. They're just like, there honestly isn't. And the only break of structure was on the 1 minute right here. This was the only break of structure. Likely, yeah, look, price can continue going lower. It is what it is. I'm not going to re-enter this one. If anything, I'll rather just double down on Euro and ZD if the opportunity presents itself. If not, then so be it. Like, even if I enter here, it's not bad, like 2.24 on a very, very late entry. And there's no real demand below either, which is something to take note of. So on the 15 minute, maybe there has to be like some sort of OBIF somewhere here, but there just isn't. Even the break of structure has been fairly aggressive from that 1 minute. Like, yeah. And then if we look at Euro and ZD as well, the break of structure there was also fairly aggressive. Like, this was 3 minutes as well, really nice. And you can see my very, very late entry. Yeah, like very aggressive entry, great follow through. Like really, really good opportunity here. All right, AUD CHF running through supply, showing me signs of strength. And we have hit supply up here. Lovely. Weekly is, yep, still very much bearish. Daily is technically still bullish. We've technically been SFPing it, so that can remain. 4 hour is, well, we've broken. Oh, have we now? Yes, we have broken to bearish. We've broken back to bullish. Yeah, we're technically speaking bullish on the 4 hour at the moment, just for now. And it's probably going to be bullish on the hourly as well, I'm going to assume. Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. That's fine. Bullish on the hourly as well. Wouldn't be looking at this as a distribution. I'm just going to let price continue to do its thing here. It's also left behind some form of demand. So yeah, we will see what happens. It has been mitigated. Yeah, it has. Yeah, just give this its time. Nothing really to force here. GBP AUD. Yeah, so we do have this higher time frame accumulation model, which is something that we should definitely pay attention to. Don't need all these anymore. I've just done that again. Yeah, I definitely want a deeper mitigation here and a local range, which could honestly be this right now. Just an FYI. Can very much be this. Mitigated supply. Alright, before I dive into this range, tap 1, Wyckoff high, tap 2. Okay, so is this valid? We have broken structure on the daily, which is very important to know. This is very, very important. We've just broken structure on the daily. So expect a pullback for a higher high. This is probably our most pivotal break of structure yet. Right here. Daily, awesome. 4 hourly is also being broken. No, is that inside bar? Yeah, it is. My apologies. Okay, 4 hourly is bearish as we speak. And then the 1 hour is bullish for now. Okay, awesome. All right, in terms of POIs, this is very, very simple for me. Extreme liquidity is right here. There might be some refined. Demand below. So just pay attention there. And there is this actually beautiful, beautiful setup. And same thing, like the return to zone doesn't have to be pristine. It's highly pro context here. Highly pro context. Awesome. We'll be monitoring this. I'm hoping that we don't get a confirmation as I'm sleeping. That's all I want. Don't give me a confirmation while I'm sleeping. But it is what it is. Alright, last pair of the day. I'm going to do a crypto market check after, simply because I just need to take a piss. Like, been going for an hour and a half. Yet again, a little TCT and TCT here. But what I don't like is how high we have moved up. Okay. Like if I draw this as a range, it's probably valid, to be honest. Yeah, it's actually very valid. Return to zone is pretty neat, to be honest, as well. Daily, have we broken any form of daily structure though? Daily's still bearish, so that is good. Yeah, this range is actually quite nice, to be honest. I am really, really liking this. And yeah, we're still bullish on the hour, on the 4 hour. Maybe we're bearish on the hourly, maybe. Bam. We have just broken back to bullish on the hourly, so that's fine. All right, there's a few things to do. A few things to work with here. So looking at this range, I'm just going to pull this up just on the sole purpose that it's distracting me a little bit. And then I can focus on this a little bit more. Now, like, yes, there is demand below, but same thing, like you're in a higher time frame range, so just be aware there. Now how evident is the demand below? Pretty much from here. That is fine. Okay, that's been mitigated. So we can pull our range from here, and that is fine. Okay. And then in terms of extreme liquidity, pretty easy extreme liquidity POI. Right here. And this is our range here. We will see what happens. Alerts have been set. Move this towards the top. Eurnzd still sort of doing its thing. Same thing, like I'm just waiting for a nice pullback. I don't mind the fact that price is just taking its time here, maybe creating some form of local return to zone, and then if we get a strong break, if we come back up and get a strong break, if we don't, we don't. that is that. All right, I'm gonna save. I'll save crypto for crypto. I don't want to. Daily bull bearish. How's that one? Bull bearish on the daily, guys. What was I doing there? Okay, delete that. We'll save crypto for crypto. This is just me being off the charts for ages and I'm just getting very, very excited. This is all it is, but I do need to go to the bathroom. Boom, supply in there. Boom. 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 There might be some form of overlapping supply in there. Okay, kind of has been mitigated. Alright, I will do crypto when it's time to do crypto. For now, thank you so much for listening, guys. Hopefully you have seen like the thought process. I'm glad I managed to enter this live on camera. Because then I can look back on my thought process as well in the moment for this Eurnzd short, as well as the why I did what I did. Yeah. So yeah, we'll monitor that. As I said, plan here is if we can get a return to zone back up and a break, I'll add more to the position. But as of now, it is what it is. Some skin in the game is better than no skin in the game. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all for listening, for viewing. Stay tuned for the next crypto market update, and I will catch you guys pretty soon. Peace.